Time for the lid. Panel is back. Perry Bacon, Eliana Johnson, Steve McMahon. I want to go back to the start of the show and this whole alt-right business. Eliana, Tom Coburn dismisses it. He wants to, and I know a lot of mainstream Republicans want to say this is a fringe thing. It's somehow the left that's trying to make it a bigger deal. This is a part of Breitbart world that, trust me, I see it. I feel it. We all get it. And I'm sure you've seen some evidence of this. How big is it?
You know, Coburn's argument was this is a small, tiny faction of people, and the media and Hillary Clinton are now trying to smear the Republican Party with it. And I think the issue is, who knows what Donald Trump believes? I think I have no idea what the guy's ideological core is, but certainly this tiny faction of, Breitbart News, the alt-right, has essentially foisted itself onto Donald Trump and who captured the Republican nomination. So this small, lunatic faction of people now is running a presidential campaign and has some control over a presidential candidate, and that makes it an absolutely legitimate issue. And
the reason I went to you first is because it's National Review. Its founder, your founder, William F. Buckley, kicked out, essentially, the John Birch Society. What's interesting, I have some old footage here, and I think we have it, of the head of the John Birch Society in the 60s on Meet the Press. Take a listen to it. Oh, we do not have it yet. If we have it, I'm going to play it. But in it, it's expressing very much nationalism, very much skepticism about international agreements, and in this it had to do with NATO, believe it or not, in 1961. So there is some elements in there, but conservatives in the past had just booted them out.
That's what I thought Hillary did interestingly today. She did not give a speech she said she was giving an alt-right speech. She really gave a Donald Trump as a racist speech. That's really what she was. There were a few lines about alt-right she explained, but mostly she was stringing together. Smart for her, because a lot of, she's trying to get millennials, people of color, white college grads, are her market. And in some ways, they don't agree on much. They don't really like her, all those groups, but they don't want to vote for someone who's intolerant, and that's what she really pushed hard.
All right, I have the clip now. I just want to play it for you because it is amazing. Take a listen.
Mr. Welch, if your society achieved its major objectives, wouldn't you accomplish what the Soviet Union wants to accomplish? Destroy NATO, the UN, weaken our defenses?
Well, Mr. Spivak, when you convince me,
aren't all those things?
Convince me that the Soviet Union wants to destroy the United Nations, then I'll argue with you. I see nothing to justify any such assumption.
You think they don't want to destroy NATO? You think they want to
destroy any possible effectiveness of NATO, which I think has been pretty well destroyed. I have never been convinced that NATO was effective at all.
Now, that was Robert Welch there from the John Birch Society back in '61. It's amazing, some of the similarities.
It is. The rhetoric is remarkably similar in many respects. Perry made the point, I think, correctly, that what Hillary Clinton was trying to do today was paint Donald Trump as a racist and present evidence that perhaps he was. I think what she was also trying to do, which was much more insidious and much smarter, frankly, was basically to say they've captured now the Trump campaign, this alt-right movement, and the Republican Party has a very difficult decision to make. Are they going to be the Republican Party of 50 years ago and purge these people from the entire party, or are they going to embrace them and try to make them part of the movement?
Well, it comes back to your founder there at National Review, and I think what Rich was thinking about when you guys designed that issue. The infamous issue of #NeverTrump.
Exactly. And look, I think this is a bigger argument that's going to play out after November 8th. I don't think it's going to be playing out on a larger stage much before that. But what you are starting to hear conservatives say is, look, Steve Bannon and Breitbart, who have attached themselves to the Trump campaign, are more insidious and as conspiratorial as was Robert Welch, and it's time for them and anybody who associates them to be read out of polite society. That hasn't, made headlines yet, but I think that's the argument that will play out after the election.
I think she's right, Perry, especially if Trump loses, that there will be a rush to this. I mean, I felt Ted Cruz's speech to the Republican convention was the first shot.
Yes, and Jeb Bush, Mitt Romney was the first shot, I would say,
You're right.
in some ways. But Ted
was from the right, though, from the conservative.
That's exactly right. And I do think that is where we're headed in some ways. I think Hillary was interesting today in that she, as opposed to saying the Republican Party has been captured by the alt-right movement, which some liberals say, she was trying to make the opposite, which is that there are regular Republicans who are still here. Donald Trump is a crazy on the fringe.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. But what she was saying is...
All right. I got to pause, but I think that's right. She's trying to not color the Republican Party with this yet.
Yes.
Perry, Eliana, Steve, thank you. We'll be back with one more headline you may have missed today.